Welcome to Brilliant Women in E-commerce series of interviews. My name is Emma Bagley. I'm your host. I'm also the founder and director of Zeal, a digital marketing agency specializing in Amazon. I'm really pleased to invite Alice and Wynter from Pimentae Drinks, premium tequila cocktail brand. And I'm really excited to hear their journey, their new, young, fresh brand, early on in their entrepreneurial journey with so much success already behind them. So welcome, Alice and Wynter. And please could you both tell me a little bit more about yourselves and your brand before we launch into the more formal interview questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Wynter and I'm one of the co-founders of Pimentae, which is our premium tequila cocktail company with the mission to liberate the way consumers enjoy tequila, just because it has a very negative perception in the UK fueled by our shot culture. So ultimately, I guess our aim is to offer a more accessible avenue for consumers to enjoy tequila. And I guess my main role in the business is commercial and sales. And I'll pass on to Alice.
Yeah, and I'm Alice, the other co-founder. So I think also just touch on the side note, Wynter and I, Wynter came from Sky, she was in commercial, and I came from ASOS. I was doing marketing at ASOS. So I now look after most of our kind of marketing side and brand side. And yeah, we've been going since March 2021. We launched the business. So we're coming up to 2 years now, which is crazy, but it's been a very interesting, stressful and exciting journey from when we started.
Thank you both. So launched in 2021, was that when you officially launched and your products were for sale?
Yeah, we took the business from kind of idea to launch in 6 months. So we came up with the idea in September 2020, and then we launched March 2021, and it was just on the edge of lockdown. So both of us were still working full time in our other jobs, and it was a bit of a shoot in the dark. We had this amazing idea, had this product, got it turned around really quickly, and we just took to market really with very little money.
Wow, that's amazing. I can't wait to hear more about this because it's such a competitive industry. I'm really looking forward to hearing about your journey and how you've carved your space in that industry. So let's start with the interview questions then. Tell me, how did you start your business? You've given me a bit of a background there. You're both in full-time jobs and you took it, launched it essentially within 6 months from idea, conception. So could you tell me a little bit more about how you came up with the idea, how you came up with the formulation, and how you actually took it to fruition and out to market?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess Pimentae was definitely inspired by our time in Mexico, but the concept was very much in our kitchens. So me and Alice actually went traveling around Mexico, I don't know how many years now, like 4 years ago. It was during university. And we tried an abundance of tequila when we were out there. And we realized as a spirit, it's actually incredibly and sophisticated when balanced correctly and served correctly. And we realized that there was a huge knowledge gap in the UK just because people don't know how to drink it. We've got a terrible shot culture. And as a result of that, it's got a really negative reputation. And we also just have a really, really poor choice of tequila in retail and in bars and restaurants. So everyone probably rolls their eyes and thinks to Sierra tequila with the little red sombrero hat and a terrible, terrible hangover. Before we launched as well, I think it was no secret that margaritas and the Pimentae were absolutely dominating the cocktail scene. So we really wanted to kind of capitalize on a demand. But we also knew that making cocktails from scratch was a huge pain point for people, especially in lockdown. It was expensive, time consuming, highly laborious. And I guess we've always been pretty avid believers that a good product comes from plugging a pain point. So we wanted to marry the fact that kind of margaritas and Pimentaes were having their moment. And also a lot of people were doing a lot of cocktail making at home, but were struggling with the kind of faff of making them and pair those together. So we wanted to commercialize the proposition and bring a really high quality product to market, because I think pre-mixed cocktails have a very negative reputation for being high in artificial sugars and sweeteners. So for us, it was about bringing a bar quality proposition to the market and also just wrapping it in something really unique that hadn't been done before, to just showcase that we're not just another cocktail brand, which is why we kind of wrapped it in bespoke artwork, and all of the designs that you see have heritage and craft and narrative behind them. So all of the imagery comes from Mexico, whether it be kind of the jimadors who hand harvest the tequila. You've got Frida on there, you've got Mexican heritage buildings and things like that. So we like to think that it will stop people in their tracks when they almost see it on the shelf, because ultimately it's the aesthetic of a product that drives the first purchase, and it's the kind of taste of the liquid that will drive the repeat purchase.
Yeah. And in terms of what we actually launched with a spicy margarita that was sort of based around the Soho House Pimentae. We knew it was a very trendy cocktail at that time in London, and because of lockdown, people weren't able to go out, so we wanted to take something that was exclusive to a members club, commercialize the proposition, and then make it accessible to everyone whilst they're at home. So like Wynter said, it was born in our kitchens. We made it fresh from ingredients we bought at the local supermarket. We did lots of tastings with friends in terms of different levels of spice, different tequilas, all of that kind of thing, and then ended up taking it to a liquid house to commercialize it so that it was a shelf stable product, got it in the bottle, and then we had our product.
And where can people buy these drinks? Because also you mentioned earlier that they are now available in cans as well. So where can we buy these products? Where can we enjoy them?
So when we first launched, we were purely direct to consumer. So it was on our website. But now premium retail is a huge space for us. So we're in Selfridges, which was a fantastic win for us. Also across other e-commerce platforms like Amazon, Master of Malt, Threshers, and hopefully you will be seeing our cans in a couple of very exciting listings soon. I don't like to jinx it and say we're going to be there until the product is on the shelf, but we are having some very exciting conversations with some very large accounts, which will hopefully mean that our cans and our 50cl bottles are hugely accessible to the masses rather than just online.
Yeah, and the other side of it is that we've activated at a lot of the biggest food and drink shows in the UK. So anyone who kind of wants to try the product, experience the brand, we're at places like Taste of London, the big festival, and that's a really good avenue for people to come and experience the cocktail, try it in an event setting, and then they often go on to buy our bottles after.
Yeah, I think a really important thing for us is we don't want to position ourselves as another cocktail bottle on a shelf. Like, we're an experience-led brand, which is why we love activating at places like the Big Festival, El Dorado, Pub in the Park. So when consumers are drinking our cocktails, they associate us with kind of escapism and freedom. And that's what ultimately drives the loyalty. Is someone going to pick a cocktail that they can remember drinking when they were at one of these events, or kind of a cocktail that they've not seen outside of that setting? So for us, those events aren't only a vehicle to drive massive wet and get liquid on lips, but it really does help us create our community and kind of drive that repeat purchase.
I haven't tried your cocktails, but I'm going to 100% order some, because I do have that bad experience of the tequila shots on the night out with the so I would like a more refined experience. I look forward to trying,
because the majority of people think they hate tequila, but they honestly just haven't tried tequila that's well balanced or good quality tequila. And tequila is on the rise now, so you're going to see it appearing in a lot more places. So we will get some a lot of that.
It's hugely on the increase, isn't it? I looked at the statistics earlier. Is it the fastest growing or the biggest?
Fastest growing global spirits category. I think it grew by 80% in the last year. And I think it's always a really good benchmark. We're 3 to 4 years behind the US market, and tequila is the fastest selling spirit in the US. So it's having its resurgence in the UK now. So it's a really kind of good moment to have our floor in a category that's got a lot of eyeballs on it, especially the ready to drink category as well. The two fastest growing categories are ready to drinks and tequila. So we hopefully feel like our cocktails are in a good position to take off if we kind of get the distribution right.
And will it always be tequila, or do you have plans for expanding the product range to other spirits?
I think for us it will always be tequila. The only other one we've explored is mezcal, which is again an agave. Well, tequila is a type of mezcal, but it's all agave based. But yeah, I think for us, our proposition is very much focused on liberating the way people enjoy tequila. So it doesn't make sense to go down the route of classic cocktails. There's also a lot of other brands out there who are doing an amazing job at that. So it's something that really differentiates us in the market. And yeah, we kind of love tequila, love the products we're making. We really want to touch on that education piece as well, instead of just recreating all of the classics that also a lot of people can make at home and they know how to make. Whereas tequila is slightly different, and it taps into something that they are able to try for the first time or don't really know how to try.
Amazing. Right. So, I mean, that is good core business advice though, isn't it? Like find a product, find a niche, find a problem, differentiate yourself. I mean, some people really do the copycat experience really well, but I love what you're doing in something completely different and changing people's perception and buying behavior, and also riding on the new trends as well. It's great.
Exactly. The RTD, the ready to drink space, is growing as well. So there's a lot of new entrants in the markets and brands. So it is really important to find your niche, like you said, and run with it, instead of, because it will become saturated. It already is. So it's really hard to compete in that space unless you have a point of difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it so well what you're saying about the artwork as well. That's just going to look beautiful in Selfridges, but beautiful on the bars, shelves as well. It will really make your branding stand out, eye-catching, and against the dominant products on the shelves.